This seems to be a very big shift in the tone that Trump is using now with Putin in regard to the Russia Ukraine war. And you can take a listen to it for yourself. Don't listen to me, listen to him.
Yeah, I'll give you an update. I'm not happy with what Putin's doing. He's killing a lot of people, and I don't know what the hell happened to Putin. I've known him a long time, always getting along with him, but he's sending rockets into cities and killing people, and I don't like it at all, okay? We're in the middle of talking, and he's shooting rockets into Kiev and other cities. I don't like it at all.
Mr. President, what do you want to do about
And
that?
I'm surprised. I'm very surprised. We'll see what we're going to do. What am I going to tell you? You're the fake news, aren't you? You're totally fake. All right, any other questions? I don't like what Putin is doing, not even a little bit. He's killing people. And something happened to this guy, and I don't like it. That's all I have to say.
Well, President Trump, I can see that you're frustrated. I can see that. I see you can't. I see you are. But this is from Bloomberg, guys. I don't know if you caught this over the weekend. From Bloomberg, Putin managed to avert an attack on Moscow with an 11th hour deal. But the uprising has pierced the aura of political power. Also, let's see. There was an assassination attempt on President Putin by Ukraine reportedly failed. And this was, when was this? The 25th. So this was yesterday. Now, this is from Russian media. Take it with a titanic grain of salt, but we're just trying to give an impression, more roundabout. After his helicopter came under a large-scale drone attack, Russian air defense systems engaged the drones and ensured the presidential helicopter landed safely. The timing of the drone strike suggests that Ukrainian forces may have had advanced knowledge of Putin to the area, which was not publicly revealed. So that may be something that changed Putin's view and his tone. It is that's what I'm saying. Not a Titanic-sized grain of salt, an empire state filled with salt. Take it with that. I'm just reporting I'm just giving you guys what is being reported out there. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. I'm just trying to give you as much information as possible. Could that be a reason why his tone has changed? I don't know. But we do know on the night of May that night, Russia launched its largest aerial attack on Ukraine, striking Kiev and other cities with drones and missiles. The attack came amid ongoing conflict after Russia's full-scale invasion and coincided, that's the word for all of you who are wondering, with diplomatic talks involving Trump and Putin. Ukraine's Air Force reported Russia used 367 drones and missiles, including 355 drones and 9 cruise missiles, causing at least 12 dead and dozens injured. President Trump called Putin crazy, and he said he would absolutely consider more sanctions, saying, as you just heard, I don't like it at all. The attack has intensified, for my lack of speaking skills tonight, the war's violence and could increase international pressure on Russia, while Ukrainian leaders continue to advocate for stronger sanctions. The idea here is that Trump is frustrated. And if I was Trump, I would be frustrated too. Why can't these two stupid idiots just come to the table and figure something out? They've had a couple deals on the table. In theory, we don't know. I mean, there was the one day when Trump and JD Vance got into it with Zelensky that they actually had one of the other wings of the White House set up for a signing ceremony that abruptly ended when Zelensky torpedoed it with his actions in the White House. So there's that. This is just a situation that I don't want to say Trump estimated. I think it's one of these I mean, it's an interesting question, Steph. Do I think that he's worried? Maybe not worried, but if you look at it, Trump is Putin's only friend in this entire thing. He is. And the only way to get out of this with anything that the Russians wanted, which was that land bridge, would be to work with Trump and get this done. smart money would put on that. Now, why? There's no smart money at this point because these two are just going to continue to go at it. It seems like until the end of time. And Russia is just, by doing an attack like this, Russia is only reinforcing what the West is saying about him. There's a lot of things that happen behind in the walls of the Kremlin that we don't know about. There's a lot of political maneuvering and things that we can't even begin to speculate and guess about. But it's not a good situation no matter what it is. So if you are Putin, you should be concerned that Trump is changing his tone, because for the most part, he's been very supportive and very positive with Putin, trying to get this to the table, trying to be not a friend, but at least a mediator, where Joe Biden wasn't a mediator. Well, not Joe Biden. The people who were using Joe Biden's skin suit to get things done. So I do think if Putin wants this to end, and that's a big if, maybe he doesn't want it to end. I don't know. Maybe there's nothing more but maybe there's more to it than that, right? We can't tell, but it is sad to see that the Ukrainians and the Russians are just still continuing to intensify this conflict despite Donald Trump's best efforts. And I think when he said he could get it done quickly, I truly believe he thought he could get it done very quickly, because he at least has a cordial relationship with Putin. But Putin, maybe Putin is just too jaded by the West, right? I wouldn't blame Putin for not trusting the West, because Russia's been the big bad, the big red dog for so long that it's hard to really go and trust anything the West does. Remember, it was the West that continued to break the Minsk agreements. So people forget about that, right? If I have the wording right, the Minsk agreements, the Minsk Accords, which were, let's see, a series of international agreements which sought to end the Donbass war between the Russians and the Ukrainians. And it was essentially, let me know if I'm wrong in the comment section below. I do not believe I am. But the idea behind the Minsk protocols was that, listen, we're not going to put NATO forces on the border, right? We're not going to put any NATO forces in Ukraine on the border, putting anything like that, because, OSEC, the OSCE, which is the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe, was going to monitor it. They were going to verify that there was permanent monitoring of this zone, and there's going to be a security zone between Russia and the Ukrainians, and none of that really happened. The NATO and the West continued to push through and violate that. So, right, you can, Mark, you're correct that both sides did. And I think it's very interesting. Now we get into the point of who broke which one first and who reacted to who. It's a very messy situation, very tough situation to get through. So we'll see if this change in tone by Trump actually leads to anything different. My money is it doesn't. It doesn't. So hopefully, it would be. We'll see. I mean, to quote AOC, I'm not an expert in these things, but it is a sign from Trump, maybe to get the attention of Putin. Like, listen, man, I'm kind of getting tired of this stuff. Because if Trump walks away from the table, which he's talked about doing, he's talked about walking away, then you could see just this conflict dragging on with no end date. And I think that's the thing that a lot of people are worried about, is that this conflict will continue to drag on with no end date in sight. And I think that's a bad thing for everybody involved. I think everybody involved does not want that to take place.